Kalt Odessa Uniprte. Hello and welcome to part 13 of this NatWi course. Today we look at position 2 infixes. In case you haven't seen the other parts of it infix, I would advise you to do that first, especially the first one, or learn at any other place about infix positions, because like we can see here, this is part 3 of the infix sub-series. So knowing what an infix is and where to place it in a verb makes sense before you watch this. But let's get into it. First, the overview of the infix lessons within this NatWi course. We already had part 1, Introduction, Tense and Aspect, where we talked about what an infix is, where to put it in a verb, which infixes there actually are, and then also learned our first few infixes, namely when saying when an action happened, and also if it's finished or not. Then in the last part, part 2, we talked about all the other position 1 infixes, namely the subjunctive, the participles and some combined infixes. Today this is part 3 of the infix series, where we will talk about all position 2 infixes. It's actually not that many, so we will talk about the positive and negative mood, so how to show that you're happy about something or not happy. Then we will talk about the so-called inferential, and we will talk about the ceremonial, and then part 4, the last part of the series, we'll talk about pre-first infixes or position 0 infixes, where we will talk about the causative, the reflexive and the combination of the two. But let's get started. Here we again have the overview. If you have watched the first 2 videos, then you already know all the infixes in the middle. So today let's look at the right row, a, ang, ats and ui. Let's start with a and ang. Probably A at least you already know very well, because one of the most written or most said sentences in the community is Wengati Kameya. And Kameya, to see spiritually, is actually just Kame with an A infix. So A shows that the speaker feels positive about something. Here's the example sentence I already talked about. Wengati Kameya, I see you, and I'm happy about this. Important. This shows only that the speaker feels positive about something. So if I, for example, would change the sentence to Ngal weti kameya, then it means you see me and I am happy about that. Or if I, for example, say something like Nantang te yul. So Nantang is just a Nantang, viper wolf, and duel is to run. And then if I say Nantang te yul, then it does not mean that the Nantang is happy about running. It means that the Nantang runs and I am happy about it. Because both infixes here, a and ang, always are about how the speaker feels about something happening. Ang, on the other hand, is about the speaker feeling negative about something. One example, Ke tsangun srung sivi ngaru. I cannot help you and I'm sad about that. And an example from the second movie, Ke putenge oen English who won ve. I don't speak English with assholes, so maybe you remember Loak saying this to Quaritch. And here we see something interesting, namely that the ang, so the negative emotion, does not really apply to the speaking. Like, he doesn't speak with assholes, but I mean, he will not be unhappy about not speaking with assholes, right? So here the ang seems to more imply that he generally is unhappy with the situation. A and ang cause some exceptions, namely a, if it's followed by e, or by pseudo-vowel, becomes a, so the y sound is added, a consonant is added in between. So for example, Ngaru irayo seyi ayoe. We thank you. You maybe know this line from the song chord, where she's like, Ngaru irayo seyi ayoe, tsriri tireye, so thank you for the days of life. Or another example, Ngari kei nereyir ma'elan. Your face is glowing and I'm happy to see that, friend. For the E and the E, it's simply because the sounds are just very close or even the same, so to distinguish them, you just put a Y in between. For the pseudo-vowels R and H, the reason is very simple. The rules of NatWi syllables just say that they need a consonant in front of them. So having an A infix in front of a R or H doesn't work, because E is a vowel, so we need a consonant in between the infix and the pseudo-vowel to make it a valid syllable in NatWi. So that's just the reason why we need the change here. Ang plus E can be changed to eng. That's optional though. So both are correct. Tsap alute sengi oe and tsap alute sengi oe. That's just something that's up to speaker preference. Just say whatever feels more natural to you. Let's get next to the inferential art. So what is the inferential? Inferential shows that the thing you say is based on evidence. So here are some examples. Paul vercengit getok. Ha zreitit hatzok. He or she is not here. So surely he will be in the village, or surely he is in the village. Based on the evidence I have, namely he is not here and probably he will be here in the village, I can conclude he will be in the village. Mai mi vakto patlit. Sivunatsu ngaro fekem. Try to write a patli, you surely would like it. So here this implies basically, I know you personally, we are maybe friends, I don't know, and I know that you like animals and you like riding animals. So from what I know about you, I can conclude that very likely you would like riding a patli. And another example, Poan yaune latsu puero nelam. Apparently she loves him. So art combines very well with the nilam, apparently, because like I said, it just shows that you draw knowledge from evidence you have. You can also use arts and questions, and then it indicates that you don't believe the other person knows the answer either. So for example, you could ask, what is that? What the hell is that? And that's just to show you asked this, but you are very sure, okay, the other person also don't know the answer. And lastly, let's quickly look at the ceremonial ui. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a formal ceremonial infix. So here are 2 examples. Manaumtu srakelu yungenga ektan feoloe. Excuse me, sir, are you the leader of this clan? So here you see the lu, to be, becomes lu yu, lu with the ceremonial infix ui. Or, from the first movie, Natvie lu yu hap e. You are part of the people. It can be used together with the ceremonial pronouns, but it's not required. So you see in the first sentence, srake luyu ngenga. So here the ngenga is used instead of the normal nga. Ngenga is just a ceremonial form of nga. We also have that, for example, for oe, which becomes ohe. We also have that for po, poho, pohan, pohe. So we have ceremonial forms of the pronouns, and they fit very well together with the o infix, but this is not required. O is really very ceremonial, so you don't see it very often. We have barely any examples of that, so you really don't want to overuse this. Only use it when you're really high ceremonial speech. And that was already it. Very short video today. If you have any questions, like always, ask in the comments or contact me on Discord. And I hope this was helpful for you. Hei alle, meine Frappo!